Luke Ayling will expect to start at the heart of the Borough back line once more. A couple of fresh faces as well into the Middlesbrough 11 today, which we'll go through in more depth very shortly. Tommy Conway, all smiles. Well, here we are. This is the scene on New Year's Day. Derby County versus Middlesbrough at the magnificent Pride Park. They always get great numbers here in the Midlands. So maybe a nippy afternoon. The Ram is probably the warmest of everyone inside the ground this afternoon. But the Middlesbrough supporters are generating some heat of their own in the corner here at Pride Park. I can imagine they'll be making plenty of noise all afternoon. 150 miles is the journey down the A1M to Pride Park. Most supporters, I'm sure they'll be used to the long distances that they have to travel week in, week out. Derby County, they had a forgettable trip to Leicester City on Monday night, went 1-0 down after just 6 minutes. Thanks to Bobby Decordova-Reid's goal. Well, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Happy New Year and welcome to Pride Park. John Eustace's side start 2026 in front of their ever-present supporters as Derby County look to move on from their forgettable end to 2025. Middlesbrough are looking to rediscover the form they found when Kim Hellberg took charge in November as they look for their first win in 3 league games. And as ever, the Borough supporters following their side across the country. It's a nippy New Year's Day in these parts. Hopefully we'll have plenty of out-of-the-seat moments to just warm up the supporters a little more this afternoon. It's a wintry scene in the East Midlands this afternoon. Well, my name's Rich Wolfenden. I'll be your commentator this afternoon. Alongside me for this one is the former Bolton and Sheffield United man, Andy Walker. Happy New Year to you, Andy.
Happy New Year, Rich. It's great to be here. It's great to be part of this game. I think as we enter a new year, when you think back to the end of last season and see that Derby, ending up just 1 point ahead of the relegation places, I think they'll be content with our current, mid-table position and look to kick on in the second part of the season.
Well, that's it. There's contentment and then settling. They want to constantly be on the front foot despite their improved position on last season.
Yeah, and far too many draws. I mean, John Eustace has referred to that. He's spoken, about his desire to see his team, make their home form count. Too many draws, and you've got the opportunity here. It's a new year. New opponents in Middlesbrough. Middlesbrough, of course, took care of them, and when was that? November, when they beat them 2-1.
That's right.
So, it should be a really good contest this afternoon.
They actually went 1-0 up in the reverse fixture, did Derby County, thanks to Patrick Adjemang, who starts today. Scored after just a couple of minutes in the reverse fixture a couple of months back. 8 goals from Matt Targett and Morgan Whittaker in the last quarter of an hour of that game, ensuring that Kim Hellberg's first game in charge ended up with 3 points going away at the Riverside. Well, it's two sides who've been on the slide at the end of 2025, and they hope that the start of 2026 sees a change in fortune as Derby County host promotion chasing Middlesbrough here at Pride Park. As the players take part in the FIFA Fair Play handshake, or the Fair Play high five, I suppose it is nowadays. Let's take a look at the teams, shall we? Derby County's first 11 of the season sees Zetterstrom continue in goal, having played in every league game so far this season. Dion Sanderson, who was announced as a permanent signing yesterday after initially joining on loan, starts at centre-back alongside former Borough man Matt Clark. Joe Ward returns from suspension. Brewster and Adjumang have the responsibility up top. The new manager bounce definitely seems to have come crashing down for Borough and Kim Hellberg. Without a win in 3 championship games, the Swede makes 2 changes to the side who were beaten by Hull on Monday. American Aidan Morris is recalled to the midfield in place of Alex Gilbert as Delano Bergzorg is brought in to offer a threat out wide. Middlesbrough once again have no recognised centre-backs in their squad. Kim Hellberg looking on his first victory as Middlesbrough boss was against Derby County just a couple of months ago. We'll be feeling optimistic once again. There's a couple of players who we've got our eyes on this afternoon, and Andy, this man is on in white who you're watching.
Yeah, Patrick Adjumang, I mean, he's got 6 goals in 20 games so far. I think John Eustace looking to him to be as big a goal threat as the injured Carlton Morris. I think his physique and his power, a real threat to any side. On the other side, Morgan Whittaker. I mean, I think all successful sides, they need a goal-scoring threat from the middle of the park, and Borough have this in Whittaker. He was at Derby earlier on in his career, of course. I think he'll be keen to show them just how far he's kicked on since then.
Well, one man who's starting today for Derby County. I don't know what the technical term is for it, but he was on loan for the first half of the season. Yesterday announced as a full-time Derby County player. Dion Sanderson starting at the heart of the Derby County defence as Middlesbrough show their team spirit pre-match. They're going to need that to get back to winning ways. And one man who you hope will be doing the business out in the States next summer there, Andy.
Honestly, in the last 6 months of the season, you look at every potential Scot who might just go on an astonishing run and get themselves into the World Cup squad.
Tommy Conway starting up top for Borough. The Championship is back for 2026. Another year of ups and downs lays ahead of us. Middlesbrough will be very much hoping this is the season they go up. Derby County very steady in the first half of the season. Can they continue that all the way through till May? And who knows, maybe catch up some of the teams higher up in the table. But Andy, what do you expect will happen in this game? Do you expect Middlesbrough, the side second in the table, to be in control of the ball the majority of the time?
Well, normally they are, but I think when you look in recent weeks, every game has been so tough for Middlesbrough. Their results have just fallen away slightly. They had the opportunity to cut that deficit to Coventry recently, but it didn't work out for them at Leicester. Every game is tough just now, but I think they've approached it the same way this season, and that is why they're sitting in one of the top 2 places.
Bobby Clark with a push in the back of Luke Ayling, right under the nose of Kim Hellberg. That centre-back partnership for Middlesbrough. Luke Ayling, traditionally a full-back. Matt Targett, traditionally a full-back, but they've got a big job on their hands today. It's a good step forward by Britain, but can't find Whittaker, who does eventually find the ball at his feet. Runs into Clark, who absolutely clatters the former Derby man. A little cheer from the home support who enjoyed that tackle on the former Derby County man.
Yeah, never holds back, Matthew Clark. And the important thing is he read it well. He got the ball. Knew exactly what he was doing.
As the rain starts to come down here at Pride Park, just to add an extra edge to this one. Good hold-up play by Bergzorg. Hackney. Support on the right-hand side. Sen with the cross. It's cut out of the near post by Sanderson. And the first corner of the game will go the way of the visitors, Middlesbrough.
Yeah, Sanderson's read it well. I think you were expecting maybe a better end product here. And Sen going down the right-hand side. He's got options in the box. If he lifts it there, gives his teammate a chance of scoring. But the pressure's still on with the corner.
Sanderson immediately towards that back post. Always a combination of man marking and zonal marking. It's taken short. Hackney to Whittaker, who tries the effort on the left foot. And the ironic cheers even louder because it's the former Derby man who puts it a good few metres wide.
Yeah, he is a goal-scoring threat from the middle of the park, and he's taken the corner here, came round in the angle to have a pop at goal, completely misses the target, but he'll be back for more, that's for sure.
He absolutely will. Morgan Whittaker scored 6 games on the bounce in the Championship throughout December. Now gone 3 games without a goal as the former Derby man. And how about that for a start? Down at the Valley, Coventry City, starting 2026, how they ended 2025. 1-0 up, 3 minutes on the clock. Loose pass in the middle. Morris wasn't looking at the ball, but his teammates get it back. Britton. Bergzorg goal on his own. As well to hold off Sanderson. Is Morris into the side today. Britton. Will pass forward for Whittaker, who tries the clever flick. Easily cut out, though, by Ebu Adams, who was back defending. Now Ayling. Middlesbrough starting on the front foot here in the Midlands. Ayling. Clark gets his toe on it, and then it's dumped further away by Thompson. Hackney takes a heavy landing. It was just a hit into Hayden Hackney, but the way he fell down is, I think, the reason why the referee blew his whistle.
Yeah, let's hope he's okay, because that was a nasty fall. I think you've got to admire Middlesbrough when they get men forward in the wide areas. There's a little bump there on Hackney, a sore one. Brewster knew, I think, what he was doing there, completely off balance Hackney, and thankfully he's recovered. But the amount of men that Middlesbrough get forward, when they get the ball into the wide area, there's always options for the man in possession.
They're defending so high up as well. Luke Ayling winning the ball in the Derby County half. Luke Ayling's actually joined the attack here, as is Matt Targett. Plenty in red. Whittaker or Britton to send it in towards. Remember, they haven't scored in their last 3 Championship games of Middlesbrough. Can they find one here? Britton's free kick towards the back post. Oh, it's a crucial touch. Goes behind for a corner, but that touch in the middle was essential.
Yeah, I think it was Langus at the back post, because Ayling was going round. He was a man who'd broken free. A lovely touch from Langus, and yet still pressure on with yet another corner.
Corner right in front of those travelling Borough supporters. Into the near post it goes. It's glanced on at the near post by Bergzorg, I think it was. Derby County clear their lines. Adjamang immediately surrounded by red shirts. And now the counter's on. That's a great ball down the left channel by Elder. Adjamang. Middlesbrough backtracking. Adjamang still, but the referee's blown his whistle and the free kick goes the way of Middlesbrough. Well, Bangura there, he was one-on-one with Adjamang and he did really well to slow him down.
He fancied his own pace, didn't he, Bangura? I mean, he was saying, come on, take me on. Does he think he had that burst of pace? And he did. Just over the first 4 or 5 yards. Got a little clip to bring him down. But Bangura there, I think more than a match for Adjamang. It'll be a good contest, that one.
Yeah, down that Middlesbrough right-hand side. Bangura now back over to the left side where he's more favoured. Played in the last 3 before today is Alex Bangura. This is only his 7th Championship appearance of the season for the Sierra Leone defender. His 5th start of the campaign so far. He'll be keen to impress. Here's Callum Britton. Wonderful switch of play from the former Blackburn man. Here's Conway. Here's the shout of the overlapping run. Goes centrally instead to Whittaker, but it was well read at the back by Derby County. Home support getting a little edgy, that Middlesbrough seem to be getting every clearance at the moment. Hackney. Knocks it forward for Bergzorg. Returns it for Hackney! Great save! Zetterstrom off his line quickly and to great effect. Still alive here, though, for Borough. Morris to Hackney. Now Target. That's too far ahead of Bangura, but the chance there after a wonderful 1-2 saved by Zetterstrom.
You're dead right to highlight the goalkeeper here because he's closed the angle. Hackney coming through. And when you see Hackney advancing into the box, I think he's already made his mind up. I'm going to dink this over the goalkeeper. But he stands tall. He narrows the angle. He gets out to him quickly. And he makes it so difficult for him. Really good save.
Made himself big. Did Jakob Zetterstrom? He's been in contract talks for a good couple of months now. Nottingham Forest have shown interest in the Sweden international goalkeeper. Going to be cold in between the sticks this afternoon, especially as the rain gets heavier. Here's Britton. Confidently crosses the halfway line under no challenge from anybody in white. Still Britton slides it through. Conway completely miscues it, and it just about rolls wide of Zetterstrom's right-hand post, but Middlesbrough are starting to create chances here.
Well, that's a huge chance for Tommy Conway, and I can't believe he's missed the ball completely. I don't know whether he thinks that there might be some sort of challenge awaiting him, but he rushes it, he snatches at it, he doesn't make any sort of contact at all. Lovely through pass from Callum Britton. Big chance for Conway. If he wants to get involved in international football, that's the type of chance he's got to take.
He's not had the most prolific of seasons. Tommy Conway went 16 games without a goal until he scored against QPR last month. And he really should have at least tested Zetterstrom there. He'll be furious with himself, but early days. I'm sure another chance will come his way, especially if Middlesbrough continue this pressure. Well, that will give you something to hang your hat on if you're a Derby County supporter. They've definitely started on the back foot here at Pride Park this afternoon.
Very encouraging for Middlesbrough. I mean, not even 10 minutes gone, and the big chance for Hackney, that chance that we just saw from Conway. They're certainly getting so many options when they go forward. Very impressive so far.
Luke Ayling's got some defending to do here. It's a shove in the back from Adjumang. And the free kick goes against the Derby County forward. In fact, I think it's an offside. It's been awarded. Clearly tell he wasn't the fastest there, Ayling, but he got his
He
body
wasn't the
right.
fastest. I think he just got his body in the right position. Adjumang there with a needless foul. I know it was offside, but always a physical challenge to be met. You've just got to use that physicality very wisely.
They'll be hoping for a chance similar to Conway's, will Patrick Adjumang. 2 goals in the win against Sheffield Wednesday, scored in the draw with Birmingham City as well. 3 goals in his last 4 championship games. Not bad form at all, especially with the World Cup coming around the corner this year. It's going to be a bizarre thing to say over the next few weeks. Speaking of Birmingham City, they're 1-0 down at Vicarage Road. Tom Ince with the goal there. There's Target. Now Bangura. Derby County trying to press Middlesbrough into their own half. There's the free kick. Goes against Morris in the midfield. That'll be a Derby County free kick, much to the confusion of the American.
I think it was a foul from Morris. I think when you see here, he gets the ball played into him, but really good pressure, and he's given the ball away.
Bobby Clark pressing high and winning Derby County a free kick, and it looks like they're going to send this one long. Joe Ward, the man who stands over this free kick, back from suspension today. Plenty of big targets in the middle for Ward to aim for here. He's got a wicked whip on it. It's a great header, though, by Matt Target. Very well judged to clear that away. Now the counter's on for Borough. Space to move into. Whittaker through to Bergsorg. First time cross. Clark is there, though. Sen was in the middle, but there wasn't much conviction on the cross, really, from Bergsorg. I don't think he caught it cleanly.
No, he didn't, but again, I like the way Middlesbrough are moving it from their defensive third of the pitch through to the middle, and then all of a sudden, within seconds, they're in that last third, putting another ball into the box.
Here they come again. Bangura. Morris to Whittaker. Hackney. Back to Morris. Derby County sitting right on the edge of their penalty area. There's still space in behind. Whittaker cuts it back and Langas is there, gets his toe on it. Home support thought that crossed the line. They wanted a goal kick. Play continues. 13 minutes of this game gone by. 0-0, Derby County and Middlesbrough. Bangura tries the first time cross. Langas in the way. And shoved in the back is Liam Thompson. That'll be a Derby County free kick and they'll be able to just catch their breath.
Yeah, needless foul again from Morris. Just let him have the ball there. He's in his own half. He's under a bit of pressure. Just a very soft foul to give away.
Aidan Morris, another one of those players who'll be hoping to make the USA squad for the World Cup later on this year. As his compatriot Adjumang doesn't quite get the bounce there. Ailing to target. Now Bangura. The benefit of having 4 fullbacks in your defence is they're all pretty capable with the ball at their feet.
Well, I was about to say, when you've not got any recognised centre-backs, you would think it would be an area that Derby would like to try and expose, but by quite some distance, it's been Middlesbrough who've started the better of the two sides.
As Britain switches the ball wonderfully to Bergzorg. Bangura on the overlap. Wants it on his left foot. Whittaker's there as well. He'd like it on his left foot. Bergzorg finds a looping cross to the back post. It's over everybody. Sen will just about keep that in. The flag stays down from the assistant on this near side. Britain finds a cross, which finds Bergzorg. He goes down. Referee says no. Whittaker trying to find space. He does find space. Takes a nick and will go behind for a corner, but Borough come again.
Well, I think the referee was right. I didn't think it was a penalty, but yet again, when there's a loose ball and it falls to Whittaker and he gets his shot away, you can see here Bergzorg, I don't think he's looking for it, he just went to ground, knocked over, but the amount of opportunities that Middlesbrough are creating for themselves, look at the amount of options they've got in the box. Very impressive.
Something different this time from the set piece, and maybe they should have tried something a bit more routine.
No, Morris again, I don't know what he was, maybe in two minds, whether to have a pop at goal or get a cross to the back post. But in the opening 15 minutes, it's been all Middlesbrough, and they really should be at least a goal in front.
Well, Morgan Whittaker is the man to certainly look out for, especially on New Year's Day. Clearly in bed before midnight. Every year is Morgan Whittaker. Ayling goes up with Adjumang. It's the American who wins the ball, but targets onto the second ball. Brewster unable to get towards it. Kim Hellberg getting rained on, but really not losing any of his enthusiasm. Winter coat doing its job for Kim Hellberg. Matt Clark forwards to take this throw in for Derby County. Thompson surrounded by so many red shirts, but he keeps the ball. Elder caught on his heels, and that'll go out for a Borough throw.
I think the disappointing aspect from Derby is that, I mean, we have spoken about Conway and Sen and Whittaker and Hackney and Morris and Bergzorg. Adjumang has chased one ball. We haven't really seen Brewster involved in any of the play. The wide players, Elder and Ward, not really getting involved for the home side. It's been a slow start from Derby.
A difficult start for Derby County. Obviously, this is the busiest period of the season as well, and it does catch up with you. Travelling up and down the country, trying to squeeze in family arrangements as well. That'll certainly be something that's affected Middlesbrough over recent weeks. As John Eustace looks on, Adi Vivash off the bench to have a word with Sen as well. John Eustace, he'll remember that 2-1 defeat back in November, the reverse fixture. Got off to such a good start in that game, did Derby County, only to concede 2 late goals and throw away all the points. Middlesbrough, incidentally. They win today, could do the league double over Derby County, the first time since the 2014-2015 season, and Aitor Karanka was the manager. That's a foul on Ajamang. Britain having a shoving match with the American. Elder. Roosters the option in the middle. Targets there, though. Connects with the clearance very well. I think that's the first ball we've seen flung into the Middlesbrough box this afternoon. That's a good take. Adams. Thompson. Derby County enjoying the ball at their feet in the opposition half for the first time in this first half. Adams. Bangura's got some defending to do here, and he has to concede the corner, but that's better from Derby County.
Much better. And again, it's that ball that's played in behind the Middlesbrough defence, giving them something to think about, something to work on. And the weight of the pass there was very good from Adams. They'll happily settle for this corner, let everyone get up and attack.
Joe Ward didn't fancy the fight there, trapping that ball and taking on Bangura. See how quick he is in his defensive positions. Plenty of white targets in the Borough penalty area. 19 minutes on the clock. Derby County 0, Middlesbrough 0 here on New Year's Day. Elder's come across to take this corner for Derby County. A packed 6-yard box. Goalkeeper looks uncomfortable but takes it very, very well. Strong hands from Sol Bryn. It goes long. Manages to find the head of Whittaker, but Herzog's nowhere near him. His goals elsewhere in the Championship. Bristol City taking the lead against Pompey. Jaden Philogene on the score sheet for Ipswich Town, who continue to impress in the Championship. Here with 20 minutes on the clock, Middlesbrough have had the better of it. And who knows, may yet rue their missed opportunities. Here's Elder. No one anywhere near him. He's all on his own here, Callum Elder. I think he's won a corner, has he? He has. Well, I'm not quite sure what Callie Sen was thinking there, because it looked as if the final touch clearly came off a red shirt.
Yeah, I agree with the referee. And I think when you see here, Elder just... He's been held back there by Sen, and then there. I mean, the argument is still going on, but you got to focus now. It is a Derby corner, but I've got to get the focus.
Did well there, Callum Elder. He'll be one to watch at the World Cup as well this summer. Australia taking on Paraguay and the USA. Big fixtures for the Socceroos. It's a short corner this time. It's Clark trying to find space, finds some. Actually hits Ebu Adams. The flag stays down. Didn't quite go to plan, but they get another chance here. Ward, too slow, heavy touch, and now the counter's on. Conway over the halfway line. He's got Whittaker in the middle if he can find a strike partner, which he can't. Very well read at the back and calmly controlled by Liam Thompson. Well, they made a real mess of that corner, didn't they, Derby County?
Yeah, they did. Thompson did really well just to fill in as a central defender. But yet again, Derby giving it away cheaply.
Whittaker hits the floor under the challenge from Ebu Adams. Referee looking right at it. Well, there was no issue there. Play continues. You can hear the supporters there getting up for this game now, because Derby are slowly growing into this game. Only for Adams to send it straight out for a Middlesbrough throw-in.
Yeah, I think you want the home support right behind you, but there's not a lot on the field of play for the Derby supporters to get involved in. A couple of niggling fouls. Whittaker there, I think he was maybe fouled there from Adams, but referee having none of it.
Kept his cards in his pockets so far as the referee, Mr. Kitchen. And Derby County with nothing registered in terms of attacking play yet. Middlesbrough with those opportunities. I think that Conway one is probably the standout opportunity, but Hackney's one-on-one saved by Zetterstrom. Goalkeeper doing very, very well to make himself big and keep the clean sheet intact. But remember, Borough have gone 3 championship games without a goal. They've created chances in this one, as Morris is caught out. Clark, Brewster can't quite squeeze it through for him. Here's Ward. Red shirt's getting back now. Adams hangs onto the ball too long. Bergzorg and Whittaker now. It's 4-on-4. Bergzorg. Sanderson slows it down. Sen. Bergzorg in the penalty area. So many red shirts coming forward here. Hayden Hackney is one of them. And all he can do is send that into the supporters behind Zetterstrom's goal.
I always feel as though it's a decent half chance when you're only 20 yards from goal. He's nowhere near the target there, Hayden Hackney. I mean, he's created half a yard of space for himself, but look at how high it goes, nowhere near the target. Yet again, Middlesbrough getting so many men forward. He's got a bit of room there to, at the very least, work the goalkeeper. That was a poor attempt.
It wasn't a convincing strike, really, was it? It was like a swinger on his weak foot, almost, from Hayden Hackney. But Middlesbrough there, they came forward with so much pace. Derby County running through treacle, getting back into their defensive position. Some communication was needed there. It almost worked out, though, for Adjumang and Elder. As Elder takes a ball in the face to concede the goal kick. Well, we're halfway through this first half, Andy, and who do you think will be the happier manager, Eustace or Hellberg?
Well, Middlesbrough are playing a better football, more controlled. They look more of a threat, but it's still 0-0. So I think if you're speaking to John Eustace, the fact that they're still very much in the game, surely they can improve their level of performance.
Still plenty of time to go in this one. Zetterstrom opts for the long ball this time. Adjumang, the target, was looking more at Britton than the ball. Adams, it's a big unit in the midfield, hard to knock off the ball, as proven there. Thompson, you can hear the grumble from the home support. They want the ball to go forward, but it's not as simple as that. There's Langas. Thompson, now the ball goes forward. Brewster, isolated with target, sends a cross in looking for Adjumang. It's a good idea, too much on it, but it'll come through to Elder now. Here's the Australian, taking on Britton. It's a wicked cross in. Target had to be there. Brilliant defending from the Middlesbrough centre-half. Middlesbrough unable to get the ball back. Adams. This is more like it from Derby County.
Yeah, much more like it. Controlled passing, looking really lively on the ball. It's taken them a while to get going.
Ball around the corner here for Thompson. Manages to keep it in, but in doing so, Bangura is able to get possession. Having his number pulled off his back by Thompson. And eventually the free kick does go against him, and I think after he sees the replay, can't really have too many complaints.
Yeah, I think you'll let that go for a second or two, but the continual, sustained holding of the jersey, I think that is what is punished.
Well, he's down injured now, is Liam Thompson, and I'm not sure if there was a toe trodden on or something here, maybe.
Well, you can see his left hand. He's got a good handful of the opposition jersey.
And the Derby County supporters not happy with the exact positioning of this free kick. Liam Thompson seems to be okay now. Started every single game over the Christmas period as Liam Thompson. Happy to be playing centre midfield today after starting out wide. Here's Britton. It's a good ball to the back post. Saves Zetterstrom. And then Sen tries the acrobatics, which don't come off. But the chance at the back post for Conway once more.
Well, in all honesty, I thought he made a good connection. He's tried to pass it away with the side of the foot on the volley. can see him here at the back post. He could have taken a touch, but I think he's pretty much in control with his effort there. It's a decent attempt at goal from Conway. Remember earlier on, completely missed the ball. That was a decent effort.
Shows he's got confidence, though, to take on that volley first time rather than trying the touch. May have been the better option.
It would have been a terrific goal, but in the end he had to be so accurate and maybe just in the end a bit too close to Zetterstrom.
Another big save from the Derby County goalkeeper. The first chance in a while, actually, for Middlesbrough. It's Bobby Clark. Can't prevent that from going up for a Borough throw-in. .28 minutes played. Derby County 0, Middlesbrough 0. Derby starting the year 14th in the table. Middlesbrough starting second.
And what a difference if you can get the breakthrough goal. It makes all the difference, even for Derby, despite the fact that they have been, you know, second best pretty much all over the pitch. He can get that opening goal, it all changes. And it's Middlesbrough who look the better of the two sides.
Sen and Sanderson having a coming together down the Middlesbrough right-hand side. Sen thought he had the space to run into, but for the technically new boy, Dion Sanderson, getting in the way. Worked with John Eustace, Birmingham City and Blackburn Rovers, did the big defender. He's been a mainstay as a centre-back in the first half of the season, and I'm sure he'll, fitness-dependent rather, continue to do so in 2026. As Zetterstrom gifts the ball to Britton. Elder's able to help him out, though. Now Clark, the former Borough man. One ball forward for Brewster, who's having a shirt-pulling match with Matt Targett.
He's struggling to get, he's struggling to get in the game, Brewster, isn't he? We saw that one time when the ball was played over the top, but really struggling to get in the game and be involved.
He broke his goalless streak against Leicester City as well in the last game, did Ryan Brewster. Yeah, he's not a sniff at all in this first half so far. Terry Conway with the foul on the halfway line. How is the question on his lips? Do need to be a lip reader to work out that one. Just making sure that the free kick is actually taken in the Derby County half.
Well, it's just a wrestling match. It could have gone either way. Conway can't quite believe it's given against him, but Derby, from the middle of the park, might just be going a bit direct here.
And why not? It's a high line from Middlesbrough. Ayling trying to get everybody on that cut in the turf. It is a deep free kick. Adjaman goes up, it will come all the way through. Angas will keep it alive. Two Middlesbrough players failing to work out who's going to take control. They'll open here for Bobby Clark. Not much space, can't get his shot in. Well worked back, and now the counter's on. Conway to Whittaker. Taken down, but advantage is waived by Mr. Kitchen, the referee. And he finds Bergzorg with a wonderful pass. Bergzorg sends in the middle. It'll come through to Bangora. And now Whittaker. Morris arriving. His white shirt's in the way, though. Hackney. Bergzorg loops one in. Away by Adams. And Brewster's there to help out. Well, he's not really helped out, he's just booted the ball straight into the afternoon sky.
Well, this spell of pressure down to the referee playing the advantage in the halfway line. It was a clear foul, but Middlesbrough streaming forward, getting shots away, getting crosses into the box, and they're so determined to get a lot of bodies into that last third when they've got comfortable possession.
Every outfield player in the Derby County half. Space down the left-hand side for Bangora. Angas is in the way. A couple of shouts for handball from the travelling supporters. Here's Ayling. Middlesbrough looking to take control of the momentum of this game once again. Very compact in the midfield. Not much room at all for likes of Hackney and Morris. Target to Ayling. Britton. And now Whittaker. They want him closer to the penalty area if possible. Hackney. Brilliant drive in play from Hayden Hackney. Slowed down by Clark. Here is the Borough captain again. Taken down by Clark, but he got something on the ball. A little bit of afters with Callum Elder on the floor, but Derby County continue to press on. Clark takes on Morris on his own. As Adjamang wins the ball, but the foul is committed.
Yeah, they just can't get it going. They can't work it into that, beyond the 18-yard box. Adjamang here, a poor touch, and in the end he gives the foul away. And they can't build anything to try and trouble Saul Bryn in the goal.
He's looking increasingly frustrated as Adjamang has been in good goal-scoring form. Well, that looked like a foul, and it was. Right on the edge of the centre circle, Morgan Whittaker catching the heels of his man. I think Thompson wanted a yellow card there. Maybe count himself lucky to get away with that?
Yeah, I think some refs would have shown the yellow here, but I think in general, the referee's been pretty consistent. He's been generous with both teams. He's been lenient. That's okay as long as you're doing the same to both sides.
Cards in the pocket still. And the referee, Mr. Kitchen. Last two games the last game he's taken charge of Derby County and of Middlesbrough. Both sides were victorious. Derby winning 2-1 against Swansea in November, he was in charge of, and Middlesbrough's 2-1 victory against West Brom in September. So a good omen. Here's the man in black today. Difficult position to take a free kick here. Ward, right onto the head of Ayling. Here's Bobby Clark, under pressure from Hayden Hackney. Two pressures. Clark into conceding possession.
He's not happy. He's wanting his teammates to make a better angle for him. He's under a bit of pressure. Yet again, Derby give the ball away. It's happened far too often in this half.
He's a talented footballer, isn't he, Bobby Clark? He's
very much so.
Went to Austria, went to Salzburg after being very well touted at Liverpool Academy, and you can clearly tell he's used to playing with high-quality footballers, and when the players around him don't move like high-quality footballers, you can see why frustration might come into his game.
Yeah, and he's young enough to learn. He's young enough to, get a bit of patience, certainly young enough to improve and be much more effective.
10 minutes to go until the break. Time for Middlesbrough to go long. Ayling looking for the run of Delano Bergzorg, but 20 yards or so too far ahead of the Dutchman.
Well, they've played a lot of good football up until the last third. On that occasion there, Ayling just wanted to go direct, just try and mix it up a little. And not for the first time the throw out from Zetterstrom. Struggling a little to find a teammate.
His distribution's not been pinpoint, but his saves have been. As Brewster struggles to trap the ball once again. Adams with the challenge. Hackney gets the loose ball. That'll be a Middlesbrough throw-in. Matt Clark getting the last touch on the ball there. 3 seasons at Middlesbrough did Matt Clark. 3 goals in his 51 appearances. Into his 3rd spell after making the move in the January transfer window of 2025. And here's Conway. He'll still be thinking about those 2 opportunities that he's had in this first half. Space on the right-hand side here for Bergzorg. Elder well out of position. He'll have to get back now. Bergzorg cuts it back. Whittaker. Hackney takes a touch off Thompson. And looks behind for a Middlesbrough corner.
Well, yet again, you see a Borough player get into the byline. You look into the box, into the 18-yard box. There's 4, 5 options. It's very impressive how they get men forward. But they're still waiting for that vital breakthrough goal, despite their dominance.
Hayden Hackney takes in the applause of the Middlesbrough support over in the corner. He's one of their own. What can he deliver from this set piece? We'll have to wait a moment until we have the answer to that question. Tommy Conway and Ebu Adams getting to know each other well on New Year's Day. I think they do in Old Lang Syne. Hackney's ball in. Easy header though at the near post for Ward. Ayling. Derby sitting deep, allowing Middlesbrough to have the ball on the halfway line. Here's Morris. Preston North End in front against Sheffield Wednesday. Who knows, it could be the year that Preston make it into the question. As Oxford United have got an equaliser against Ipswich Town. Much fancied Ipswich Town. Tom Ince with his second against Birmingham City. Here though, still goalless. Ayling trying to make something happen on his own accord. Angora drops the shoulder and cuts inside. Sen. Clark immediately onto him, but the Middlesbrough man gets the ball back. Bergzorg, lots of red in the middle. Did that take a touch? It did, just brushed Ward. And that's why the referee's pointed for a corner.
Yet again, it's more pressure from Middlesbrough. Can they get this breakthrough before we get to the half-time whistle?
Hackney. Conway. Back to Hayden Hackney. It's all very tight on the corner of the penalty area. Morris, good whip on it. There was no touch in the middle that time. This time, goal kick, the decision, despite the protests of the American Aidan Morris.
Well, Derby will be happy in so much as it's still 0-0. They're still very much in it. You're waiting for some sort of spark. I don't know whether John Eustace might look to his bench to give his players a bit of a lift. But the first thing they want to do is get into a half-time at least level and see if they can make any sort of adjustments, whether it be tactically or fresh legs, just to get themselves more in the game.
And we get an opportunity here to have a look in the dugouts. There is a notepad in John Eustace's hand there.
Must do better.
One bullet point. Here's Conway. They're still yet to test the goalkeeper, Sol Bryn.
Well, that's not good in any game. I mean, I know Middlesbrough are difficult opponents, but the home side, big crowd right behind them, and they're struggling to get a shot on target. I mean, he's done absolutely nothing, Sol Bryn. He's had nothing to do.
It's been an easy afternoon on New Year's Day for Sol Bryn. Here's Brewster. His first touch in a good amount of time for the former Sheffield United man. Ipswich back in front against Oxford United. Sanderson, that's a good ball out to Elder. However, Clark didn't quite want that ball. Britton away from Adams with confidence. This is the Middlesbrough right back charging forward. Britton slides it through for Conway, who is able to keep it in and keep possession. Very well done by the Scot. Conway gets it back and cuts it back. It's Bergzorg! Good drive, but not accurate enough.
Again, I regard it as another decent half chance. hit the target, work the goalkeeper, look for some sort of deflection or rebound, but don't drag it wide. I mean, I know he's got some decent power behind this on the turn, nowhere near the target. And again, a decent half chance just to get something on target and see if the goalkeeper can hold on to it.
It's his 21st appearance of the season for Delano Bergsorg in the Championship. Only one goal to talk about so far. That came all the way back in August in the 3-0 win against Millwall. Half a chance for him there, though. Elder around the corner for Adjamang. Or I want the flag to go up, but it stays down. Bobby Clark forward for Brewster. Absolutely clattered by Target. Adjamang's onto the loose ball. Referee keeps his whistle in his hand for now as Elder's fouled, but now the whistle's blown. Derby County with the free kick.
Yeah, I thought Brewster was fouled when he won the header, but they've got the opportunity here, and it's a good one because it's in a good area. It allows everyone to get forward. You see Brewster here. He wins the header and then he's clattered. I thought that was a foul, but the referee let it go. And to be fair to him, he has let a few challenges go, but this is promising for Derby. It'd be extraordinary if they were to get a bit of quality here into the box and take the lead after that foul on Elder.
Britain with the rather naive challenge on the edge of the penalty area. Experienced defender, Callum Britton, and he's been playing to a pretty high standard throughout this campaign, but that was a rather forgettable moment, and his side will have to switch on here. Middlesbrough keeping a defensive line that's higher than the wall at the moment. I'm not quite sure they've worked that out. Luke Ayling has now noticed that as they drop a yard or two deeper from the edge of the penalty area. 3 players in white around this free kick. Brewster leaves the scene. Elder and Ward are the 2 players who stand over it. Joe Ward or Callum Elder to take this free kick. It's Ward! Plenty of whip on it, and it had Briggs scrambling across to his right-hand post. A save that the Borough goalkeeper had to make.
Yeah, he has been called into action. Joe Ward struck this really well. This is a perfect angle to see it. You can see the whip and the curl on it. Maybe just going inside the post, and Sobrin had to deal with it. Can't keep a hold of it, and happy to turn it around for a corner.
Just the 1 additional minute at the end of this first half. I'm not sure that ball's in the quadrant. Elder's corner. Comes all the way through here to Brewster, who's encouraged to shoot, but Sen reads it. And now the Borough counter charges on. As he tries to, I think, find Whittaker. Zetterstrom keeps it alive, rather bizarrely. Conway leads with an arm, and that'll be a free kick for a handball, I think, more than a foul. Either way, Derby County free kick.
Well, it looks as though we're going to go into half-time goalless. Middlesbrough, the better of the 2 sides, created a number of opportunities, but Derby always dangerous if you can give them an opportunity. We saw there with Joe Ward what he can do from a free kick.
Tommy Conway trying to get the game restarted as soon as possible. Tommy Conway's telling him to just get up, or something along those lines. I think Kim Hellberg's forward is certainly showing a competitive spirit. He seems to be okay. Sonderlangas. Conversation is ongoing, and I'm sure it will when the whistle blows. Speaking of which, Mr. Kitchen brings this first half to an end, and the discussion still goes on between Sonderlangas and Tommy Conway. Well, out of the 2 of them, it's the man in red who's had the better of the opportunity to find a goal to separate these 2 sides. Middlesbrough with plenty more opportunities. Derby County on the back foot. But the score at the break here at Pride Park is Derby County 0, Middlesbrough 0. Welcome back to Pride Park. It is goalless at half-time here between Derby County and Middlesbrough. We're expecting a little bit of movement from the substitutes bench, though. Alex Gilbert warming up at half-time. Could we be seeing a change at the start of the second half? Maybe. Well, Andy Walker is alongside me once again for this second half, and can't quite work out who he's going to come on for, because there wasn't anybody who picked up an injury. There's nobody on a yellow card. Maybe a tactical change.
Not the only one I can think of, possibly Aidan Morris, but I mean, I think it's been a really good performance, good team performance from Middlesbrough. They're getting a lot of joy from, you know, even the likes of Callum Britton, Bangura getting forward. But the dangerous players, you know, the goal-scoring threat of Hackney and Whittaker, Sen and Conway, they can maybe improve, but whether Gilbert is going to give them, you know, better ammunition, I think that the away supporters will be happy with what they've seen. But a slight concern that it's still 0-0, because you do think at some stage a bit of pressure, a spell of pressure might go to the home side, and that's always a concern. But this has been a good performance from Middlesbrough. They need a goal to you know, just to highlight their superiority.
Well, Borough are out and Gilbert looks ready to come on. So yet to discover who he's going to replace in the Borough 11. Former Brentford man awaiting his opportunity as the skies have cleared. Maybe a sign for a breakthrough in the second half. Slight red tinge to them as well. Maybe that's a sign that Borough could be in luck. And the Derby County players are still yet to emerge. With Morris out for the second half, as is Hackney, Conway, Bergzorg.
And of course, you never know, someone might have picked up a bit of a knock or had been carrying a bit of a knock and don't want to risk it for the second half. But Gilbert getting all of these instructions here about where to go for defensive corners, free kicks, attacking corners, free kicks, that type of thing.
Andy Vivash giving out a few instructions for Alex Gilbert. Only his second appearance of the season. Turned 24 4 days ago, did Alex Gilbert. I'm sure he'd love to be the player to score the first goal of 2026 for Borough, as Derby County finally emerge for the second half here.
When you see them striding out like that, they're a very physically imposing side, but not getting any sort of ball into the box at all to threaten this Middlesbrough defence.
Well, Cali Sen is the man who hasn't emerged for the second half. He showed a few signs of liveliness and energy, Cali Sen, but wasn't really too threatening compared to the likes of Conway and Hackney. The first change of the game has been made. Hellberg with the alteration. Well, Mr. Kitchen checks both his watches, and Middlesbrough will get us underway for this second half. Now, in recent weeks when I've watched Middlesbrough, they've got to around the hour mark and they've run out of steam.
Well, I think that is a concern, because they've been terrific for 45 minutes, a very difficult away fixture. They've created chances, they've passed them all up, of course, but the last thing you want is to drop off and yet again drop more points.
And will they be thinking of that in the back of their mind? We've got 3 games without scoring a goal now, and we're into the second half and we've still not scored a goal.
Well, I think the coaching staff will be thinking that. I don't think the players are like that. Just their mentality will be to create chances, to shoot, to get it on target. But it will certainly be a concern for the coaching staff.
Kim Hellberg will certainly be aware of that. This could be a defining game at the top of the Championship, with Coventry City leading. Derby County, they're also looking to get back to winning ways. Only one win in their last 7 games now. Here's Ward. Tolangas. And Sanderson. Clark. Into his namesake, without the E though, Bobby Clark. Morris. Movement in the middle from Gilbert, his first touch. Gilbert can't get beyond Adams. The first time there, not many red shirts available for him to pass it to.
Well, you can see Conway there being more central. He was more left in the first half, and now he's moved into that central area. I wonder what sort of a difference that will make to Middlesbrough and their attacking threat.
Big goal for Josh Sargent. Norwich City looking to save their season. Here's Bangura. Bergzorg into the starting lineup today. He's gone for the short sleeves, yet wearing gloves look. Still not convinced on that. Here's Britton. Now Ayling. Conway. Whittaker. Fast feet and a good pass as well out to Bergzorg. Hackney's arriving in support. Well, Bergzorg will go alone. Great save. Zetterstrom once again at full stretch to keep Borough at bay. The Derby County goalkeeper pulling out all the stops this afternoon.
He's keeping his team in it. Decent effort from Bergzorg. Still on the attack.
Hackney. Gilbert. Very, very congested on the edge of the Derby County penalty area. There's Bergzorg again. Confidence flowing through him. Bergzorg finds space and finds the side netting. Well, a few in the away end thought that was in, and it was pretty close.
Yeah, it was. I mean, he's 1v1 here, and he's determined to get a shot away. You can see here, he's faced up with Joe Ward. He wants to take him on. Is he coming inside? Is he going on the outside? I mean, he gets the shot away, but not his best attempt. This one here, yet again, it's a 1v1. He's got options, and I think he strikes it really well. It's good athleticism from Zetterstrom to keep it out.
He's made 3 or 4 big saves now as Jakob Zetterstrom, the Derby County goalkeeper. Full stretch for that one. One for the cameras, could you say there, maybe?
Well, he can't hold on to it, but the important thing is he gets a really good angle and power to get it away from the goal. There's no spillage there or any sort of rebound. It's a decent save.
A smart stop from Jakob Zetterstrom. Here's Hayden Hackney. Whittaker. Will he taste glory? Like it is old stomping ground. Morris claiming that he had his heel clipped right under the nose of the referee, but he's not interested. Bergzorg again. Wants to get onto that right foot. Morris seems to be okay after shaking off that knock. Here he is now. Under pressure from Ebu Adams. This time he is fouled, and the American will get the free kick. Much further out than the previous coming together, mind.
Yeah, it's still a refusal from the referee to show any cards to control the game. He's just given the foul. I'm not sure it's worthy of a yellow card at all, but Adams gives away a foul, and yet again Middlesbrough in a promising position here.
He kicked out of the heels of the American, did Ebu Adams. Adams, Gambia side, won't be going to the World Cup next year. Finished 3rd in their group behind Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang's Gabon and Wilf Zaha's Ivory Coast. His attention is entirely Derby at the moment. That's not worked out well. Ayling, neither is that. Goal kick, Derby County.
Well, I think he wanted to try and drill it in on the half volley, but he ended up getting caught in 2 minds, and the chance was gone just to keep it lively. But poor defensively here Derby players going for the ball and not getting it. Clark getting a mix-up there.
Yeah,
It was with Sanderson that ended up at the back post with Luke Ayling.
There's been a couple of occasions where the Derby County players have not worked it out between the two of them. Edward Adams has worked it out there. Good block made on Alex Gilbert. Adams with the armband once again today. Lewis Travis, who was named the captain last year before the season started, he's on the bench. Treat to see if we see any changes soon by Derby County. They may be second best, but they're not playing terribly, Derby County. They're just not quite at the standard that Middlesbrough are set in. Bergzorg up against Langas, and big Derby defender does well. Has a word for Bergzorg afterwards.
He's good 1v1 Langas, isn't he? And he did so well there. Brereton Diaz coming on. I know he might not be the big favourite with the Derby supporters, but if he can change the game in their favour, he'll be doing well. There you see Langas again. Bergzorg gives them a bit of look and go and try it again, I'll still beat you.
1,000 words with a look is what Langas gave to Bergzorg there. Here's Adjamang in a tussle with Morris, and again Patrick Adjamang just struggles to make the ball stick, but he has it now. Adjamang, it might open up here for the American. He can't square it though. Well read by Bangura. They've just not been on the same wavelength this afternoon, Brewster and Adjamang.
No, they haven't managed to get anything going at all. No chemistry, no relationship, no build-up play, no twin striker play at any point. It's been a real struggle for them to look really lively in that last third for Derby.
8 minutes played in the second half, still 0-0 at Pride Park. As Matt Clark nods it back to Zetterstrom. There's a couple of changes being readied by Derby County. Looks as if Salverson is preparing to come on as well. Yeah, two forward players being readied for Derby County. So he clearly sees something in this, does John Eustace?
Well, I think, you know, the onus is on Derby to be better, to improve. If it keeps going like this, the likelihood is Middlesbrough will get the breakthrough. Derby have to have their own spell of pressure, and they haven't had that up until now.
Here's Clark. The Bobby Clark. Now Elder plays it early behind Ayling. Adjamang, is this the chance? Saved by Bryn, and Ayling is there to clear it away. For the Borough goalkeeper, the hero there, Adjamang, with the best chance in the game by far for Derby County.
Pass from Elder was absolutely magnificent. The weight of it, just first class.
Bobby Clark, he's got Brewster in the middle. Target dives in and then is able to recover brilliantly. Bobby Clark, he beaten Target for a moment there, but the Loney able to recover and save the day at the heart of the Borough defence. But the chance for Adjamang, such a good opportunity, comes to nothing.
Yeah, it's one he's got to take. I think to be recognised as a real threat and a goal scorer, you take that chance, as his service was first class.
Here's Bobby Clark. Derby with a bit of confidence about them all of a sudden. Thompson has his heel clipped by Hackney. Elder. Clark, big defender, joining the attack. Now he's got to get back, or does he? Whittaker gives him a gift. Solbrin, though, made himself big, and that's all he could do in that position, really.
Look at that pass from Elder. It's absolutely magnificent. One touch, maybe slightly too heavy from Adjamang. Just that touch there, I think it's a bit too heavy. Gives the goalkeeper the opportunity to really narrow the angle. But the through ball was absolutely wonderful from Callum Elder.
Well, we saw him put in a brilliant cross for Ryan Brewster's goal against Leicester City in their last championship game. That one also finding the target. As he's caught in possession here and he leaves a foot in. The Middlesbrough players are furious about that challenge.
You know, always a difficult one for the referee when you're surrounded by, what, 5, 6 players urging him to take action. He was in a great position to see it himself. He's just biding his time and he's opting for the yellow and not the red.
And he has been rather lenient this afternoon as the referee, Mr. Kitchen, and you can clearly see that he's got the yellow out just to diffuse the situation as soon as possible.
Yeah, and I think it's sensible refereeing. Has he really missed a glaring error here? Should it be a red card? My first thought was a yellow. I think when the ball is there, it's maybe not even a yellow, you know. I think it's just a foul. No one's gone high. I mean, there's a bit of force there, I think, from Callum Elder.
He got the ball very early on in the tackle, and it's just the follow-through, which is why
The follow-through. Yeah. I think the referee's done well here. And it's always difficult when you're put under pressure from teammates urging you to show a yellow card. There's a heavy touch there, and Elder goes through and he wins the ball. And as you say, which the follow-through might have been the dangerous one, but Elder, I mean, Derby are getting the free kick.
Yellow card in the hand of Mr. Kitchen, who just waiting for the right moment to raise the yellow card.
Well, he's seen it as Elder, you know, winning the ball and then coming through, possibly with, you know, excessive force, thinking it's reckless, and reckless, of course, is a yellow card as Derby are prepared to make a double change.
And Patrick Agyemang is the first to come off. Had that opportunity a few minutes ago. That's what he'll be thinking about this evening when he shuts his eyes and goes to sleep. It's Lars-Jørgen Salvesen who is on in his place. Norwegian. A couple of goals so far this season. And Ben Brereton Diaz comes on for Rian Brewster. 2 attackers off, 2 attackers on. Clearly happy with the system that he has, John Eustace, just not the personnel.
Well, I just don't think it was the day for Brewster and Agyemang as a partnership. I know they don't play, you know, twin strikers, but there was no real relationship or understanding between the pair. And it remains to be seen what you'll get from Brereton Diaz and Salvesen.
Obviously, Brereton Diaz is going to operate out on the right-hand side, and Salvesen at the tip of the attack.
Yeah, I think Derby concerned about Bangura getting forward. See how it pans out in the last half hour.
Approaching the hour mark. 0-0 still on New Year's Day here at Pride Park. Bergzorg had a couple of opportunities in this game. Ayling, Gilbert spins into trouble. There's Joe Ward. There's Liam Thompson, who shrugs off Aidan Morris. Tries to go at him again, but the Borough man back in position and does very well to take control of the situation. Gilbert, Hackney tackles his own man and takes command. Bangura, so many red shirts in this attack. With plenty of white, back to defend. Gilbert to Morris. That's incisive. Whittaker. Gilbert. Bangura. Can't get the cross beyond Ward. Derby with numbers back.
Derby defending well because they're stopping that at source. They're not allowing the cross to come into the box.
Here's Gilbert. Reluctant just to swing it in as well at Middlesbrough. They're trying to incisively play their way into the penalty area. Ayling to Whittaker. That's a clever spin. Whittaker, blocked by Clark. It's back to Whittaker. No! Off target. Well, he was off balance, and it was on his weaker foot, but he'll still be disappointed not to test the goalkeeper there.
I think you can see outside the box. He's got the skill and ability, the imagination, a bit of craft and guile. You know, he's always driving into the box. He gets the break of the ball, and it's on his right side. He strikes it really well, but can't find the target. But he looks very lively.
3 games without a goal in the Championship now for Morgan Whittaker. After that wonderful run as the ball boy nods the ball out for a throw-in, or into the crowd, I should say. That 6-game goal-scoring streak. Some purple patch. Almost impossible to keep that up after 6 games on the bounce.
Yeah, well, you just keep going when you feel as though you're in form. You feel as though you can't miss at times, and he's still got a good half hour to get another one.
Here's Bobby Clark. Bobby Clark forced towards the corner. Britton's there with him. And the Middlesbrough defender plays it against the legs of the unfortunate Bobby Clark. Goal kick the call. Kim Hellberg said last month that Callum Britton has been Middlesbrough's best player since he took control of the North East club. And he's looked pretty assured again this afternoon, hasn't he, at right back?
Yeah, he has. And I think some of the fact that he gets forward so often in dangerous positions, he gets a cross ball in. You saw that lovely pass he played to Conway in the first half.
Here's Bergzorg into the penalty area, off balance, and hurries his strike at goal. Maybe not the smartest of decision there, as Conway has a word for him in the Derby County penalty area.
Well, a bit of a concern for Derby that a long ball that travels how far? 40, 50 yards, and they get in behind. And I know with every passing step that he takes, it's going to be tough to get it on target there for Bergzorg.
He's getting opportunities, though, is Delano Bergzorg. Interesting to see if Borough were to call on anybody else from the bench. Here comes Ward, but immediately a group of red shirts prevents his progression.
This is where you want Derby to be a bit more dynamic. These are comfortable passes when you're playing it to defenders and your goalkeeper. But in trying to build something, I think eventually they'll need to go long. And you see there, they're struggling to get controlled possession, to move from, you know, the back and middle and front. Really struggling this afternoon.
Yeah, the energy of Middlesbrough has definitely led to them controlling more of the ball and creating more of the opportunities in this game. Here's Whittaker, stands on the ball. Hackney out wide to Britton. Now Morris, trying to find the inch-perfect pass. Hackney. Everyone behind the ball for Derby County. Really tough to break down for Middlesbrough, but these are the kind of teams you've got to come up against and pick up 3 points if you're to earn promotion to the Premier League. And remember, they left it late on to win in the reverse fixture. Dominant. On the statistics front, only 3 of those 16 shots on target, though.
Yeah, that's where they definitely can improve. Some really good opportunities and good positions. Pulled it wide, dragged it wide, not worked the goalkeeper.
2 balls on the pitch momentarily, which referee wasn't happy about. Bangura back to Hayden Hackney, who's stayed out of trouble so far this afternoon after that coming together with Taylor Gardner-Hickman in the game with Blackburn Rovers. Here's Morris. Now Bangura. Morris knocked over behind the referee. Bergzorg. Brereton Diaz trying to orchestrate the defence from the corner of the penalty area. Hackney. Now Britton. Poor pass straight to the feet of Liam Thompson, who gives it away himself.
They can't build anything. Every Derby player within 30 yards of their own goal.
Bergzorg can't get there. Matt Clark is in the way. Able to swing his left-footed out and clear it, but only as far as Britain. Hackney. And now Luke Ayling. Morris. Gilbert. Target back to Morris.
This is wave after wave of attack, but Middlesbrough have to try and find a way to either get in behind or get a quality ball into the box. Cheap foul there.
Salverson conceding the free kick. He's not added anything different to the Derby attack as of yet, as the substitute. Just trying to play his part defensively, isn't he, there?
Yeah, it's a cheap foul, it's a silly foul. Gives them the opportunity to put this into the box. Have they got the quality, though, Middlesbrough? We've asked that of them all afternoon. Will they take this short, or are they going to play it into the box? Derby are so dominant in an aerial contest, I think. Really big side.
When you look at Tommy Conway there next to Matt Clark, surely there's only one winner in the air. We shall see. It's a difficult angle to generate something from here for Middlesbrough. The 68th minute of the game. Derby County 0, Middlesbrough 0. What can Callum Britton deliver here for Borough? It's going to have to be something special from this angle. Salverson's there to head it away. Picked up on the edge by Hackney, who dances his way through and crosses one in, but Zetterstrom is there before anybody else. Confidently taken by the Swede.
Yeah, no one to hit. Everyone back for Derby. And now they'll try and play it out from the back. Can they get any sort of passing game going themselves, Derby, to relieve this pressure, get a bit of respite for the defenders who, as you mentioned, Richard, are just sitting so deep?
Here's Langas. Bit of space in the midfield for Brereton Diaz. His first real involvement. Ward down the right channel. Ayling takes control of the situation so confidently, but he's in a spot of bother now. And he does well there to get the goal kick.
Yeah, showed all of his experience, didn't he? No panic from Ayling. Central defender this afternoon, asking everyone to keep calm. He knows there's more than 20 minutes to go, and he's confident they'll get one big opportunity.
34 years of age now is Luke Ayling. Has experienced promotion to the Premier League before with Leeds back in 2020. So many EFL appearances under his belt as well.
Yeah, brilliant. 8 years or so at Leeds, more than 250 games for them. Just great pro. And he's made a good move here. I think it's fired him up again.
Absolutely is. Thompson gets the ricochet there. Brereton Diaz. Liam Thompson. Brereton Diaz now the substitute. Hackney in the way. Now Langas. Sees the gap, finds Brereton Diaz. Hackney tracked him though. And does well to work it out to clear away. Clark to Elder. Some noise from the home support. Here's Elder. Here's Salverson into the penalty area. And it's Bobby Clark who takes the chance. A New Year extravaganza at Pride Park. 20 minutes to go, and the side who've been on the back foot have the lead. Derby County 1, Middlesbrough 0.
Well, Middlesbrough have paid the price. They're the ones who've had all the chances. In Derby, you thought they would get one, just one. And this was a big one. Salveson doing ever so well with that touch. And eventually Bobby Clark taking responsibility. He's only 20 years of age, but he knew exactly what he was doing there. Look at the smile on his face. Clark next to Salveson. There's the touch there. And then when he comes more central, Bobby Clark, he's not going to miss. He keeps his composure, takes it inside, creates a yard of space, and gets it away from the Middlesbrough goalkeeper, Solbrin. And they've made the breakthrough. It's Derby who are in front, not Middlesbrough. What a turnaround in this game.
Bobby Clark with his first championship goal of the season. What a moment for the young man. Well, the rain may be pouring on New Year's Day, but that is not dampening the spirits of these Derby County supporters as Middlesbrough hit another bump in the road, as they have in recent weeks. Now, Kim Hellberg has a serious question to ask of his players.
Well, what you've got from Derby now is a team in front who are quite happy to defend. They're strong defensively, they'll sit deep. They'll ask Middlesbrough to show some imagination and be creative. And up until now, they haven't been able to make that breakthrough. What a turnaround in the game.
You've got to be pleased for Bobby Clark as well. This is 24th appearance in the Championship this season, and he's finally
It's
off
just
the mark.
a lovely moment for him. Your first goal, the fact that you're making a difference, and he was, you know, playing reasonably well without dominating the game, but showing his quality for one so young, 20 years of age. He's got a lot to offer.
Yellow card shown for Salverson there, I think it was. Yeah, he just caught his man, didn't he?
Yeah, Salverson on the stretch there, catching Hackney.
Well, he played his part in the goal, did Lars-Jørgen Salverson. Not sure he was quite in control, but he'll probably get the assist.
Well, it was two of them in a sort of central striker's role, and eventually the ball falls to them. And Clark's finish was tremendous. Didn't lose his composure at all.
He had scored in the Carabao Cup this season, Bobby Clark, but that is first goal in English League football.
Yeah, their first goal in league football, it's just wonderful. Great moment for him.
Whittaker. Hackney. Chance here for Borough to equalise, and Britain's there. Defenders in the way once again. Zetterstrom, the hero once more. Britain seems to have hurt himself in taking that striker goal. Was Zetterstrom again proving to be important for Derby County?
I think he's made the wrong option, Britain. He's gone for goal, and unless you score, look at the options that he has here. So he's in behind. He can cut it back to two players or fire it across the goal there for Conway. He goes himself and gets a bit of a knock here.
Well, Kim Hellberg not happy about, I think, the challenge made by Sanderson. He caught Britain there on the follow-through.
Well, he's got the shot away, so his argument is it was a late challenge, it was a foul, and I'm sure he's thinking it should be a penalty.
You very rarely see those given as a penalty, though, even though there is a touch and the opportunity's gone.
Yes, I think you're right. I think you're entitled to make a challenge, to make a block, and there's a natural coming together, unless it's really late and dangerous. But yet again on the attack, and there's that ball that takes him through. Can he cut it back? I thought the option was to cut it back to Hackney here. It's Hackney who gives him it and wants it back, but he doesn't get it. Credit to the keeper for making a save again.
He had the look across to his teammates there, didn't he? Callum Britton, but he fancied it himself. Yet to score for Middlesbrough, Callum Britton. Probably the closest he's come. So there is some movement on the bench.
Well, instead of chasing the 3 points, Middlesbrough are trying to salvage one.
Who'd have thought they'd be in this position at half-time as the rain gets even heavier here at Pride Park. Quarter of an hour to go. There'll be some injury time added for this incident. And here comes the Middlesbrough change. Sarah Nipa is coming on. As is Sammy Silvera. And that doesn't look good for Callum Britton. He's been one of their finest players this season in at right back. Aidan Morris. Off for Middlesbrough as well as Callum Britton. Silvera and Nipat are on. Well, can they get straight back into this, Middlesbrough? Plenty of whip on it. Clark gets his head on it. It'll be another corner. Again, maybe just a little bit of talking was needed there at the back. The Derby County.
Well, I think they're strong. One of their strengths, Derby, to go and attack balls in the air. Big physical side.
It's taken short. Whittaker goes in low, and it's saved by Zetterstrom. Much to the enjoyment of the home support, but another save. Jakob Zetterstrom.
Yeah, let's not forget that he's kept it at 0-0 with some vital saves. And it's that type of performance that allows you to win such a tight game when it looks as though it might be going away from you. Derby was still a bit of work to do, making a change of their own.
And it's the goal scorer who's coming off. What an afternoon for Bobby Clark. The first scorer of the new year for Derby County, and his first goal in English League football.
Well, credit to him for being in that position. He holds off the challenge, the lunge from Luke Ayling, and he makes it count. Keeper's trying to narrow the angle, but he gets it past him. Makes all the difference.
A wonderful moment for the young man. He's only on loan in these parts from RB Salzburg.
Well, it's the only way he's going to improve. Playing at a good level, so competitive, the Championship, and if it's not worked out for him so far at RB, then, you know, playing every week here will really help his development.
Yeah, there was a lot of hype about him when he was a young man at Liverpool. There often is a lot of hype around young players at big clubs such as Liverpool, and they don't always live up to their expectations, but he's delivered here this afternoon. But what have Middlesbrough got in their locker? This is a real test of Middlesbrough now. If they're going to be in the top two come the end of the season, these are the kind of games where you've got to come away with at least a point, despite their depleted defence. Here's Ayling. So tight in the middle still for Middlesbrough to operate through.
And Derby won't be embarrassed that you might get to 90 minutes and it's 65–70% possession that Middlesbrough might have had, but as long as they keep a clean sheet, they'll be happy.
Here's Whittaker. Hackney wants it. Hackney gets it. Nipat trying to dance away from his man Elder. Look at the numbers in the penalty area. Here's Ayling.
When I think of Middlesbrough's...
It's a cross in. Conway's there. Gilbert. Now Target. Hackney. Now Silvera. Out to Nipat. Up against Elder once again. Can he find a cross? There's your answer.
No end product. And I was just about to say, Rich, when I think of Middlesbrough and their 70% possession against Hull, in their last game they had 23 shots, they had 42 touches in the opposition box, but they lost 1-0. This is a familiar story.
Well, there'll be a few happy faces in the director's box. Starting the new year with a big win and 3 points. Doesn't get much better. There's still time to go, of course. Ten minutes remaining. I'm imagining there'll be a good 5 or 6 minutes of injury time after that knock for Callum Britton that he picked up before going off injured. Another defensive injury, though, for Middlesbrough. Really not having much luck on that front. Hackney, Bergzorg, this is better from Borough. Bergzorg tries to reverse it to Bangura, but the avenue was closed. Now Brereton Diaz. Only has Salverson in front of him. Support arriving now. Thompson. Derby County supporters enjoying this. Here's Ward. You can see Tommy Conway trying to encourage players forward from midfield to try and win the ball back high up. Salverson the target here, no one going for the first ball. The target just about gets enough muscle on that to nod it back to his goalkeeper Bryn. Time ticking away. Derby County 1, Middlesbrough 0. Bobby Clark with the only goal of the game. Here's Conway. He'll be thinking about those opportunities in the first half, which he couldn't take. Hackney. Now Ayling. Silvera. To Nipa. Faced with Callum Elder, who's putting a real shift on that left-hand side. Silvera. Ayling goes to the deep cross this time, but Sanderson, the new boy, a permanent signing, is there to thump it away. And they hang on like this for the next 8 minutes or so, do you reckon, Andy?
Well, I wouldn't put it past Middlesbrough to create another really good chance, but whether they can take it or not, that's a big question.
Here's Silvera. Low cross in, Matt Clark's there. And that will spin out for a throw-in, will it? No, it won't, it stays in play. Ayling, home support getting nervy, but there is the big defender, Matt Clark, on hand to clear it again. Home support trying to just give their team a little bit more enthusiasm and a little bit more energy, because you can see their energy levels are starting to drop now.
Yeah, I think it helps. I mean, a home support, if they're right behind you, they can put a yard on your stride when you're tired. I think the players need the home support now.
Great take by Conway. Away from Langas, but not from Thompson. And Adams is there to win it back as well. Brereton Diaz, oh, he wanted the advantage and the referee has brought it back. It'll be a yellow card, but Derby County are very, very disappointed to see that brought back, as Ever Adams seems to have injured himself chasing the referee there.
Yeah, John Eustace shaking his head in disbelief. He thought that was an opportunity to get a second on the breakaway. Gilbert with a cynical foul, knew exactly what he was doing. Falls here to Brereton Diaz. And you look at him, as soon as he takes one touch there, it's a cynical kick out. And certainly worthy of a yellow.
Well, I think in the defence of the referee there, Matt Targett stopped and didn't try and make the tackle. I'm sure he would have made it a lot harder for Brereton Diaz.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Either way, frustrating from a Derby point of view, but all good for John Eustace, because time continues to tick away. 5 minutes to go.
And no short free kick. This will be a long diagonal. Fight for it in that last third. See if they can keep the ball away from their own goal.
Long it goes. Clark the target, knocks it down, looking for Salverson. That full stretch, he was always going to do well to get anything on that. And now Target. What have Middlesbrough got in their locker? Are they facing 4 championship games without a goal? For the side second in the table, that is not good enough. And I'm sure Kim Hellberg will be reiterating that to his players. Have made chances, of course, but the hardest thing to do in football is score. Gilbert. Silvera. Whittaker. Hackney. Nipa. Bergsorg. Back into Hackney it goes. He's on the turf. Nobody asking for a penalty, but not even a question. Well, there is a little bit of afters.
Well, it's all very promising, isn't it? But yet again, comes to nothing. Derby on the verge here next. Well, I think you're right. There maybe be 5 or so minutes added on, but 10 minutes to go. What a victory this would be when they've not been at their best. But defensively, they've been really strong.
And they've really looked assured at the back, have Derby County. And they drop into that back 5 of Elder, Clark, Sanderson, Langas and Ward. It is like Fort Knox at the back for Derby County. Might open here for Brereton Diaz. Fancied it. Langas wanted the pass, but it opened up there for Brereton Diaz. He's scored plenty of goals in the Championship, and I think he was entitled to shoot there.
Yeah, and I think he's been starved of any real decent possession in the last third. When he gets it there, he's always going to have a pop at goal. He was nowhere near the target, but always wanted to have a shot. More changes for the Borough here.
It's Micah Hamilton and Alan Brown who are coming on. As Bangura is off. Alan Brown replaced in the starting lineup by Aidan Morris today. Experienced midfielder. And Tommy Conway is the fifth and final player to come off. Micah Hamilton is coming on.
Well, it's not long, but if you can get a goal, it just gives you an opportunity of putting pressure on the manager for a starting jersey in the next game.
And there's a few nerves starting to creep into this Middlesbrough back line now. Fatigue as well, for sure. Sanderson thumps it at Hackney. Adams gets more loop on it this time, but Ayling in control. Sanderson, confidently done. Gilbert, it's all a bit loose at the moment. Two teams who look like they played a lot of games over Christmas. Nipa looking for the soft free kick.
Again, good refereeing. He's not buying it.
Right under the nose of the fourth official as well. 2 minutes to go. Derby County 1, Middlesbrough 0. This will be an excellent result for Derby County. Middlesbrough, one of the best sides in the Championship this season. Derby County, who've been pretty ineffective when it's come to results at home. They've only won 3 of their 12 Championship home games before today, would you believe?
Yeah, John Eustace was referring to that in his pre-match comments, wasn't he? And he may well have got his wish for a new year, starting off with a victory at home.
Is Silvera. Whittaker. Last touch came off a Derby man. That'll be a Borough throw-in as we head towards the final minute here. Here come Borough again, but Derby standing strong. That's a clever turn. Cross can't come in though. Clark is there and the last touch came off him. It will be a Borough corner.
Love that defending, you know. Clark read the danger, went over to help his teammate. Look at Clark here. He's thinking he might get away from his marker there. Thompson went away to give him some help. Great defending.
30 seconds to go. Borough corner. Ayling's header, and Ward has the awareness just to let that bounce behind harmlessly.
Well, they're a goal to the good, but how important has this keeper been in the overall 90 minutes? Look at this early save from Hackney. Brilliant. And then the volley from Conway. He's kept that out as well. That swinging shot from Bergzog, I think it was. He kept it at 0-0 and allowed his teammates to go and snatch that chance to give themselves 1-up.
Well, look at that. 7 more minutes to play at Pride Park.
Groans around the stadium with the home support.
There will be a few nerves, to say the least. Well, I don't know if the Derby fans will appreciate me saying this, but only Wrexham and bottom of the table Sheffield Wednesday have conceded more Championship goals at home than them this season. As that goes out of play, Middlesbrough out of sorts.
Well, that's a gift. I don't know what he's thinking of here, Gilbert. I think he's thinking the goalkeeper will just come and batter it up the park, but no rush here for Derby to take it, and I'm sure it's not going in the box. This will be played short.
Ward taking all the time that he needs for this.
Amazed if he throws this in, you know.
Well, the defenders are up there. Mangas, Sanderson, Clark, they're all in there. Doesn't beat the... Hardly made it into the penalty area, that corner. Terrible from Ward. Elder shrugs off his man. Elder, Derby looking to seal it here! Brereton and Diaz arriving incredibly well timed.
What a block from target. Did he throw himself in front of that, or did it just hit him? He's kept it out.
Either way, body on the line from the Borough defender.
So here it is, the cutback. And you look at Matt Target, number 3 here. Yeah, he's thrown himself in front of that and done really well to keep it out. That was a certain 2-goal advantage there for Derby.
Target, into the middle it goes. Clark swings his left foot at it. Gilbert tussling with Adams on the edge of the penalty area, but Derby come away with the ball. Can only give it away, though. 2.5 minutes played, still lots of time in this for Borough. Here's Silvera. Gets a little bit of room, finds the cross, it comes through to the back post where Brereton Diaz is there to clear it away. Heavy touch from the manager. Straight on the training pitch tomorrow, I think, for Kim Hellberg.
I expected better.
Here's Hamilton. They can just generate a one-on-one opportunity out wide to find a cross. That might be the way to unlock this Derby defence. Saying that, they've had 93 minutes to work it out. They haven't achieved it yet.
They're reluctant to throw it in. They just want to play football and get to the byline. Derby are strong in there.
Langas steps out a toe before Hamilton can get there, but has to concede the throw-in. He's looks solid at full-back / right-sided centre-back again.
Yeah, terrific.
Target. Hamilton now up against Langas, who stands on the ball and wins possession back with pure power. Salverson to Brereton Diaz, who's taken down by Target, and that'll be a yellow card.
Well, more importantly, I think it just kills the pace of the game, kills a bit of time. Gets Derby nearer the end of the match and all 3 points. And a brilliant start to the new year for them.
Well, the club have given Jakob Zetterstrom a Man of the Match award, and
tells you a story, doesn't it? They know exactly the level of importance he has had in this game. Bobby Clark will get all the headlines for the winning goal. But that man there has had a tremendous and very effective 90 minutes.
Half a dozen or so saves this afternoon from the big Swede. I'm sure Graham Potter will be considering him for the next call-up for Sweden.
Yeah, just try and build on his, 2 caps that he's got to date.
That's it, still plenty of future for Jakob Zetterstrom, only 27. What have Borough got in the locker? 2 minutes to go. But no joy down the left-hand side for Nipa. Ward can't get it past Target. Salverson was the option, but we just need to keep hold of the ball. Here come Borough. Time running out for the Teessiders. Silvera loops one in. Nipa arrives, nods it against Ward. That'll be a corner, will it? It will. A few supporters thought that was already out, but Nipa didn't give up on it. Middlesbrough supporters anxious, as you would imagine. This is a round of applause for supporters slightly wasting time for an extra ball on the pitch.
Nice chance saloon for Borough, you think?
Well, they won this fixture 1-0 last season, Derby County. As the corner comes in, Target, the overhead volley is there, and it's a harmless one, which Zetterstrom celebrates like a goal. Gilbert with the acrobatics, but not the accuracy.
Yeah, very difficult skill, and he can't pull it off. Ball into the middle of the goal. he's got a bit of room, he's got a bit of time and space, but I think it's only natural to go for it first time, and it's nowhere near the target. Derby, I think, are there.
Zetterstrom's reaction tells you everything you need to know about that, and he's not just celebrating being given the Man of the Match award. Long it goes. Will we have any additional time? Brereton Diaz is going to chase that, but he can't take it to the corner. Maybe Thompson can. Ward. Brereton Diaz ends the throw-in. Have his side done enough? It's New Year's Day delight for Derby County and John Eustace. 3 games without a win at the end of 2025, but they start the new year with a huge 3 points. Middlesbrough's championship campaign continues to stutter. Jakob Zetterstrom, a hero in this one with a handful of saves. Bobby Clark with the only goal of the game to ensure that Derby County start with 3 points. Look at Zetterstrom at full time. That's how much it meant to the Swedish goalkeeper. He was excellent this afternoon. It's high fives all around for those in Derby County colours. And just like they did last season, they win this season. A New Year's to remember. The final score, Derby County 1, Middlesbrough 0. Well, it was a competitive fixture. Middlesbrough had the better of it, but once again, Andy, they kind of ran out of steam in the latter part of the second half.
It's all about winning, and John Eustace will be so pleased. They've moved on to 35 points. They've got a home victory. He spoke before the game of far too many draws, and they rode their luck at times. Of course they did. And Middlesbrough did miss some big chances, but they had a goalkeeper in top form, and that young man there prepared to take a chance when it fell his way. What a moment for him. What a smile he gave when he scored, and what a celebration and a smile you saw from Zetterstrom at the end of the game too.
A tale crafted at both ends of the pitch for Derby County today. Look at the smile on Zetterstrom's face. The saves, especially from Hackney in the first half, and the flying one he made to deny Bergsorg as well. All different types of saves made by the Swede.
It just shows you how important a goalkeeper can be. When you're not at your best, when your team are struggling, when you're giving chances away, you've got a keeper keeping you in the game, keeping it as a stalemate, and eventually Derby got their chance, a big chance, and they took it, and they win by the narrowest of margins. But it's a brilliant 3 points and a great start to the year for them.
6 games unbeaten now against Middlesbrough at Pride Park. They're just a team they enjoy coming up against in front of their home support. The Derby County, as Bobby Clark takes the applause, and one fan gets the shirt of the man who's just announced his permanent transfer to these parts after joining on loan initially. And Dion Sanderson, he was exceptional at centre-back, wasn't he?
Defensively, they were all at it. I know they gave away big chances, and they had the goalkeeper to thank for keeping them in it. But defensively, I thought they were all strong. Their levels of concentration right there until the end. And it's the opposite story for Middlesbrough. Very familiar, dominating possession, upwards of around 70% they had against Hull. Similar today against Derby. So many shots at goal, but they can't make it count. It's a big problem for them.
4 games without a goal for Middlesbrough in the Championship. They want to catch Coventry, but they're not going to if they keep dropping points like this, as you can see Derby County trying to encourage Bobby Clark to go towards the supporters.
He's away to take all the applause, leading the dancing.
They're enjoying it behind the goal, are the Derby County supporters. I'm sure some of them were out last night, and I'm sure some of them will be out again this evening. A man on loan from RB Salzburg, making the moves in Derbyshire. They came into this game on 32 points, 8 wins, 8 draws and 8 losses in the Championship. Well, today, they make it 9 in the W column. Brereton Diaz played his part coming off the bench. Well, John Eustace will be absolutely over the moon to start 2026 with a victory. Well, this is the story of the game on paper. And as you can see, Borough on top in possession, shots on target, crosses, dribbles, corners. Pretty much all of the attacking metrics Middlesbrough on top of, apart from the big one. Look at the clearances that Derby County made compared to that of Middlesbrough. It was a performance at both ends, effective and efficient from the home side. And it was a relatively clean game, which we didn't really need the referee's attention on until the second half. Mr. Kitchen keeping his cards in his pocket when he possibly could. But why don't we take a look at the highlights from this afternoon's game?
Well, this is the first example of why Jakob Zetterstrom got the Man of the Match award. There's the touch from Hackney, and how quickly was he off his line to deny him a bigger target to try and get that breakthrough. And that was a big problem for Middlesbrough. Couldn't get the breakthrough, but in Zetterstrom, Derby had a huge player.
Really earned his clean sheet bonus today. Did Jakob Zetterstrom. The link-up play here, though, between Hackney and Bergsog, absolutely delightful.
Yeah, the early part of the game, they were dominating. Look at this pass from Britton as he's driving forward. I don't understand what Tommy Conway is doing there. He must expect a challenge, but I thought he would have at least taken a touch and pulled the trigger really quickly. You're inside the box, and he's going with the outside, his right foot. I don't understand his thinking.
I think maybe he should have gone with his left foot, perhaps.
I think it's always a right foot effort. This one was better, was more controlled, but yet again Zetterstrom was a match for it. But he was playing on that left side in the first half, eventually moved through to a central area in the second half, but pretty ineffective. Eventually we saw Derby come to life near the end of that first half, and it was Joe Ward with a free kick. And it was the opposite goalkeeper, Saul Bryn, who had to be lively there. I think that was going in.
I think it might have just been creeping in off the inside of that post. Middlesbrough did make chances in the second half. The tide didn't really turn. Bergsall looked for that far corner, but again, a flying Swede to the rescue for Derby County.
Yeah, just good agility, good athleticism, keeping it out. You're not asking him to hold on to it here, but don't spill it either to have an easy rebound. He got a good angle on it. And then this pass here from Elder into the path of Adjaman. It was absolutely wonderful. And I thought his touch was just slightly too heavy, and it allowed Saul Bryn to come out and narrow the angle.
It was a tough night for Adjamang as well. He didn't really have too many opportunities. Fed off scraps for the hour or so that he played, but Salverson came on for the American forward, and he certainly influenced the opening goal.
Yeah, they lost a bit of shape there, but credit to Bobby Clark when he's in that position. He did not lose his composure. He made it count, and it's made all the difference. Puts his team 1 goal in front. There's a touch from Salverson, and I think he's trying to go himself. But Clark takes it off Salverson's feet, brings it back into a central area, and it's a lovely finish. He's got to make it count, and he does. There's a lot of pressure on that. I'm sure there's A lot of options going through his mind, but he makes the right call.
And look what it means to him. First goal in English League
Great
football.
moment. Such a good moment for him.
He will remember that for a long time. Will the 20-year-old? Brereton Diaz was alive, though, looking for a second as we ticked closer to the final whistle.
Well, I'd say he's capable of scoring from there. Obviously not on that occasion, but he was a hungry substitute, just so desperate to get involved in anything in that last third, but quite happy just to be part of the victory.
There's still a few supporters in the ground who clearly don't want to leave. They had such a good afternoon here at Pride Park. Yeah, keys, wallet, phone, you've got it all. Well, why don't we take a look at the results from around the Championship this afternoon. Blackburn Rovers losing the early kickoff to Wrexham. Pompey thumped 5-0 by Bristol City. Charlton Athletic equalised against Coventry. They will still extend the lead ahead of Middlesbrough, who lost here this afternoon. Stoke 1-0 winners against Hull. Preston North End 3-0 winners against Wednesday. Ipswich 2-1 up against Oxford United. QPR losing to Norwich. Southampton and Millwall finished goalless. Swansea won in South Wales against West Brom. Watford 3-0 winners against Birmingham. Sheffield United play Leicester City in around 25 minutes' time. Well, let's take a look at the Championship table, shall we? For Middlesbrough, a change down to third in the rankings now. Ipswich's win allowing them to leapfrog the Teessiders. Watford and Hull and Preston not too far behind Middlesbrough now. Well, let's have a look at the second half of the table. Derby County up into that top half. Norwich's win, Portsmouth's defeat. They may have a game in hand, but Norwich have certainly got momentum. Oxford United still down there. And Sheffield Wednesday very much still cut adrift. Well, that is it from us here at Pride Park. A big thank you to Andy Walker for watching this one with me. A memorable start to 2026 for Derby County and John Eustace as it finishes Derby 1, Middlesbrough 0.